Welcome to the Harrison County Literacy Volunteers YouTube channel. We are a United Way of Harrison County, West Virginia nonprofit agency. We would like for you to view our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment below.
Good morning, children. My name is Miss Jodi, and I'm going to read you my favorite Christmas story, Mr. Willowby's Christmas Tree. Story about sharing at Christmas time. So, Mr. Willowby's Christmas tree was cut off, and it went by truck, by special delivery, all the way through the mountains, down through the mountains to Mr. Willowby's house. And there's Mr. Willowby in the upstairs window. And he says, Mr. Willowby's Christmas tree came by special delivery, full and fresh and glistening green, the biggest tree he'd ever seen. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he'd waited for. A magnificent tree, splendid, he cried. Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside? I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner here. Oh, but look what happened. It's too tall. But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willowby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling, then bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. There's the tree bending over. Baxter, the butler, was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willowby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know just who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willowby's upstairs maid. Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I trimmed it later tonight? But top, oh dear, I'm so afraid we'll have to be cut, said Miss Adelaide. So with scissors sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day in back of the house to be thrown away. And look, there's a kitty on the chair watching it, but it's bent over. Then the kitty is sitting there as she snips it off, and then the kitty falls asleep next to the spare top. That little treetop caught the eye of Tim the gardener passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree thrown out. He hurried home straight away to see what Mrs. Tim would say. Fa-la-la, surprise, surprise, his wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small. I do not believe we need it all. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the tree and threw it out. Let's see. Here we go. Barnaby Bear was padding by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now, who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I have a present for you. So there he takes it home to Mama Bear. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yawned Barnaby quite drowsily. But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, that tree won't hold a star. So there it is, bending over again. Barnaby said, let's cut a hunk off the bottom here by the trunk. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. So again, there goes the treetop. Do you see the picture? The treetop? Jolly by golly, Barnaby said with a kick. Mama Bear, that surely is the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn on strings. Mama said, trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need anymore. I'll put it just outside the door. There she goes, taking that top. Later that night, on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuck it right in. And here's Frisky Fox, and he finds that little treetop right outside the bear's nest. And he took it all the way to his house in the snow. He scampered home and jumped his gate. This Christmas present couldn't wait. It's even better than mincemeat pie, said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. Here it again, the same problem. There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix this top in a hurry. She snips off the top. She obviously threw it out the door because Benjamin Rabbit found it then just outside the fox's den. It seems, he thought, most certainly Santa left that for my family. Look, he cried, see the tree I found. With that, he called his family around. There were all the bunnies around the tree. Then there was a merrymaking, rollicking, frolicking, carrot-shaking celebration around the tree. All were as happy as rabbits can be. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot to make a stand. Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook. But right away the children cried, look, it's learning to one side. There it tips over again. It's too tall, that's all, said Mrs. Rabbit. And as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw away the top out the door. Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up some stairs. He fell down twice. At last, he reached his cozy house. It's just the right size, said Mrs. Mouse. Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese. Turn the page, because this is the best part. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree just like Mr. Willowby?